It's product review day here, and today we're going to take a look at this FireHorse. This is a RocHobby product, and first off, of course, I have to mention this. It's the right size to put on the back of your adventure bike. Let's dig into this thing and see what's inside. So we've got a Jeep here. It's actually a FireHorse. Sure does look like a JKU though, let me tell you, or a JLU. It is the newer version, so it is a JLU version. And inside this delicious piece of cardboard is this foam box. This is probably one of the things that I really like about the stuff that I've ever had from RocHobby. I did get a huge, I think it was an 8x8 from them. It was that huge big long military, yeah, 8x8, and we put an LRT in it and stuff. It also had a nice foam carrying case, way too big for an adventure bike. This is exactly the right size. So let's crack this open and see what's inside. That's awesome. First things first, read the instructions. I actually did read the instructions. I read them at the house yesterday because there's some pretty cool stuff about this that I thought I had heard. They had cool features and I wanted to check and see if the manual made mention of it or if I had to go and look it all up on YouTube, but there is all that stuff in the manual. Now, first thing to know, this is a 4-channel transmitter. It's got 4 batteries up in the handle here, and then of course a push button for channel 3, a 3 position here as well, and then you've got all the endpoints in the manual. These are called dual rates. If you guys ever fly airplanes, you know that that's not dual rate, that's actually an endpoint, but okay, they function like endpoints for steering and throttle. And if you hold the bind button down for if you push the bind button twice in 1 second, it'll actually switch these 2 knobs from steering and throttle to channel 3 and channel 4. So you can set the endpoints on channel 3 and 4 as well as the trim. It's all done electronically, very smart. And of course, throttle reverse and steering reverse, simple stuff. In case you change the truck to a different electronics or whatever, you can adjust that if you flip the servo around, you know what I mean. Now, these dip switches here on top, they seem like something you wouldn't normally have on a transmitter. So what is all that about? Those are actually all the speed control modes. So it's important to note that even though this is a tiny little truck, well, 12, 14 inches maybe, 12 inches, I'll check it later. There's every feature that you could possibly imagine in the electronics on this. So besides the fact that it comes with turn signals, reverse lamps, forward lamps, it also comes with fully adjustable ESC. You've got LiPo settings. You've got forward reverse brake or forward brake with drag brake settings right here on the transmitter. You can also select the drag brake from 0 to 50 to 75 to full drag brake right on the transmitter. So like on the fly, you know, click, too much drag brake, oh, not enough, you know, very simple. Love that. It's small and it fits back in this box, which is crazy good for traveling. There's a charger in here and a 4-way wrench. Everyone needs another 4-way wrench, everyone. This is a USB charger, and it says right on there we're outputting 7.4 at 1 amp, which is a fairly good charge considering that the battery pack that comes with the truck is a lithium powered 7.4 volt, which is 2-cell, and it's a 380 milliamp battery. So if the battery is basically dead, you're into 20-minute charge. That's pretty impressive considering the runtime on the truck is like a half an hour. So it charges faster than it actually uses power. I will say, this is way heavier than I thought it was going to be. Way heavier. This is not a blowing in the wind kind of a light, you know, plasticky model. This thing has some serious mass. Bead locks, very nice if you want to change them out. No more tire glue. I'm so bad at tire glue. I just had this conversation with a guy the other day. Every single time I touch tire glue, it's everywhere, all over the tire, all over the rim. That is a skill I do not have. Bead locks, thank you very much, RocHobby, for bead locks. So what we've got here is a C-channel frame. The C-channel frame goes to links to actual pinion and ring gear differentials. This is not a worm gear drive like what Axial uses. You can actually use drag brake. So the drag brake works like for real. There's no worm drive in the axles. It's just like a real truck. The transmission is centered here with a tiny little motor and gearing that's very low. That's impressive to me. So now, if you look at this, you might say to yourself, how on earth do I ever get the battery in or out of this? There's no hood pins, there's no nothing. Well, speaking of hood, the battery and the electronics are under the hood. So we can get rid of this sticker here that we don't need now. And you simply pop open the hood using the appropriate hood latches. Take a look at that. Everything is in there. And thanks to the JLU having hood vents, we also have hood vents. So that's pretty cool, man. All of the lights all plug in here to this all-in-one combo electronics. The servo is a separate 3-wire servo, so you can actually use any replacement servo should you want to, but my initial test of this showed that it was plenty strong, and we'll drive it here in a minute. And of course, the little tiny LiPo battery fits right inside here as well. So 2-cell, charges with the balance port, plugs in with the combined port, and it just tucks right underneath there, basically underneath the windshield inside the dashboard kind of thing. This is going to be real hard to see in here. I'll try to get some close-ups for this video, but there is a full interior. When I say full interior, I mean there's 2 full rows of seats, a console, dropped floor pan. The rear seats have a dropped floor pan as well, and a back bench. There's a full cargo area, and they routed all the wiring for the lights inside the door panels with a cover so that you don't actually see all the wires inside, because it has dual LEDs in each back tail light, front corner marker lamps, headlights, and a bunch of extra ports on the combo unit for electronics where you can switch the lights to different modes and to do different things. There's flashers, there's top lights, roof rack that's not being used. There's also power for channel 3 and channel 4 that, although they have servo plugs here, channel 3 and channel 4 do not have to operate as a servo because 3 and 4 are already being used by the electronics. You can steal power off of it though to add a light bar if you want, a separate, like not included in the trigger kind of thing. So there's options. It's pretty cool, man. Anyways, also to note, I'm gonna plug this in and we'll do some driving here. Also to note, the radio system, I was very pleased to find out, is actually made by FlySky. Why do I care about that? I'll tell you why. You guys have seen our cheese truck. We did a cheese van. That just snaps on there to close down, so the hood is down. And we did a cheese truck, and the electronics in the cheese truck are not FlySky. It's the same battery, it's the same wall charger, or the same spec of wall charger as this little unit from RocHobby. But the difference is the cheese truck has a cheesy transmitter, man. Cheesy. This one is really nice. Like, the feel of this is so much better. Anyways, let's put this thing on the dirt and we're gonna do a little rock crawling. It's pretty hard to see here out in the sun, but if I turn I can actually get the turn signals to engage. I'm not sure if you can see that on the fender or not. It's bright out here today. Boy, am I happy about that. So, this little thing can crawl so slow, it's ridiculous. I just love that. Now, I have the dual rate, which is actually the endpoints on the transmitter turned up. So I'm gonna turn the throttle way down, and then we're gonna turn that down to like 60% right there. And then you get the really slow crawl mode. Like, I mean, it just barely moves. You gotta squeeze the trigger a bit more to make it happen. So the gearing on this truck is surprisingly good. You don't want them fast, and when you have this truck in high speed with the throttle endpoint all the way, it's way too fast for its own good. Oh look, there's a turn signal. So it's pretty slow, and I like it a lot. The throttle endpoint actually works in forward and reverse. So you also get a slower reverse when you get a slower forward. Pretty cool, man. So I like the suspension. It does have a fair amount of travel, but there are no oil-filled shocks here. This is a spring-only kind of suspension. Now you've done it. There we go. Oh, I got a diff hanger out of that one. This thing kind of drives like it's in slow-mo all the time. It's pretty awesome. Let's see what we can do with this giant rock here. That's easy. Nice and slow and controlled. A little skip and go. Let's try some mud. I believe they say this is water resistant. I think they conformal coated the boards and the servo and stuff, but I would not submerge this thing. I just really don't think that getting water and mud into these little tiny gears is going to be good for anything. So I probably will never really submerge this truck. When you go in reverse, there's a set of reverse lights that comes on as well. Now, what would I change? I was thinking about this today when I was biking over here. This little truck is a little monochrome for me. That's pretty typical for most RTR trucks though. I mean, in this case, there's no stickers or anything. So I'm thinking it's gonna get a black roof, a little bit of paint and decal work, and I might actually lose the snorkel. Those are the things on my mind right now. That could change with time. Let's go find another rock cliff here and do some downhills. You do get a pretty nice curl on the tires, to be honest. They seem to bite in pretty good. And we roll over. I don't think we can get out of that either. Let's pull a scale recovery here. There we go. So, definitely nice to have a proper hard body, I will say that. And the construction on the thing is really kind of amazing. I mean, take a look at the stuff underneath here. We're talking about like a full, complete underbody. It's like everything. Frame mounted bumpers, cross members, skid plate in the center, all four linked up. It's got full bearings in all the wheel hubs. Complete like floor pan, inner fenders. I'm amazed, man. I'm truly amazed. This is an actual model, you know, as opposed to an RTR, which is an RC. This is a model that actually runs like an RC. You can properly drive this. And the ability to put detail work on that is incredible. There's so much opportunity for detail. Now, what's next? I'm thinking what this needs next is some GCM stickers and a little bit of paint work. But maybe not much more, because they've done such a good job already with the setup and the electronics, and the feel of the truck feels really good. I'm going to see if I can figure out a way to give the rear some dampening. I do find that with the spare tire on it and this full roof, just like any other Jeep build, when you have a full roof and stuff on the back, they tend to get heavy in the rear end. And so with this version, I feel like it's heavy in the rear end. So I might try to look for some performance change with that. Other than that, this is just a ball to drive around. And it's a really nicely made model. Really, really nice. I've heard that this is the highest end electronics that you can get in these from a couple people now, and I agree with that. I think they're very well done. It's quiet. You have tons of smooth trigger control. The servo works amazing, and to have the option for a full light kit and already built in, that's pretty impressive, man. Now, the really good news about this is you can put it away. When I say put it away, I mean we've all had RCs that we had detail work on, and then when you're trying to transport them, inevitably they get banged up and the mirrors fall off and all that other stuff. Here's the best news about the way that these are sent out. I can simply turn this thing off here. I'm gonna unplug the battery. It's so cool having that under the hood, man. Like it just feels right. Close that back up. I've got that plug in the way. I'm going to turn off the transmitter. Done. And then I'm just going to take this great friggin' awesome box that this thing comes in and stick it back in the box. This is just too easy. Dirt stays down. It's got gaps for the mirrors. Excuse me. And then I'm gonna keep this sleeve with it here so I can put this back onto the transmitter. This now fits directly on top of that without messing up the hood or the snorkel. If you need the instructions, they're already there. We're done. How easy is that? I mean, that is great. And if you're gonna toss it around on the way home on your adventure bike, you can stick it right back in the sleeve so that the two parts don't come apart while you're bouncing around. This is too easy. I've got links for this thing for Amazon stores and other stores all over the world. They're in the video description. Our RocHobby was kind enough to send this out for a review. The actual scale truck side of this model is really impressive. So I agreed to do a review on it, and I think with a couple of performance upgrades for the looks, maybe a set of tires, maybe not, maybe a set of rims that are, I don't think I want to add any brass. I've never been a brass guy. So I'm pretty impressed, man. And then with the bonus of the electronics package being so good, it's so smooth, it drives so nice, I would never hesitate to pick one of these up. I think they've done a really fine job with this. And for the price of these, this is a grab and go scaler, man. It's for real. Like, it doesn't just say scaler. This is a real scale truck. Really well done. Thank you, RocHobby, for sending that over. We're gonna get to work on it, and see you later.